Demand and supply at work in labor market. Labor market. So, this is the one of the examples of labor market demand and supply for nurses. Higher salary, wage, price in labor market, decrease in quantity of labor demanded by employers. Lower salary or wages, price, increase in the quantity of labor demanded. Law of supply labor markets. Higher price for labor, higher quantity of labor supply. Lower price for labor, lower quantity supply. Equilibrium, the quantity supplies and quantity demanded are equal. At the equilibrium wage, employees can find workers and workers can find job. So, the equilibrium wage, so ang amo nagapangita og trabahante para ang mga trabahante sab makakita og trabaho. So there are 6 factors that can be shift the demand curve for labor. First is demand for output. Demand for output describes the limitation the firm faces in doing this task. The demand curve for output is constrained on the firm because it gives maximum price that a firm can be charged for each of production. Number 2, educations and training. Educations prepares people for careers by teaching from the skills and knowledge by need to succeed in their chosen field. Training prepares people for a specific job by teaching them the skills and knowledge they need to do that job. Both are important, but for different reasons. Third is technology. Technology that acts and complement to labor with increases the demand for certain types of labor. 5 is government regulations. Consents of requirements the government imposes on private firms and individuals to achieve government purposes. Number 6, price and ability of another input. So, price and ability of another input is amount of money that it costs to produce. Shift in labor supply. There are 3 factors that can shift the supply curve of labor. First is number of workers. Second is required educations. And third,
Technology and wage applying demand and supply. A. The demand for low-skilled labor shifts to the left when the technology can do the job previously done by these workers. B. New technologies can also increase the demand for high-skilled labor in fields such as information technology and network. Salary or wage, money paid for work or service. Salary or wage ay isang nakapirming halaga na binabayaran kapalit ng mga serbisyo ng isang empleyado. Ang bawat lalawigan ay may batas na nagbibigay karapatan sa karamihan ng mga empleyado na makatanggap ng minimum na sahod, kapalit ng trabahong natapos nila para sa isang kumpanya. Minimum wage, a price floor that makes it illegal for an employer to pay employees less than a certainly hourly rate. Well, the minimum wage is a price floor. The minimum wage is a price below which you cannot sell labor, and the suppliers of labor exceed the buyers of labor. so it's not surprising that a minimum wage is often politically successful. Living wage, the amount a full-time worker would need to make to afford the essentials of life: food, clothing, shelter, and healthcare. The term living wage refers to a theoretical income level that allows individual or families to afford adequate shelter, food, and other necessities. The goal of a living wage is to allow employees to earn enough income for a satisfactory standard of living and prevent them from falling into poverty. Example of living wage: food, clothing, education, healthcare. A living wage example of a price floor. The original equilibrium in this labor market is a wage of $10 per hour and the quantity of 1,200 workers, shown at point E. Imposing a wage floor at $12 per hour leads to an excess supply of labor. At that wage, the quantity of labor supplied is 1,600 and the savings, supply of financial capital. Saving supply financial capital through saving expect to receive a rate of return. Borrowing demand for financial capital, while those who demand financial capital by receiving funds expect to pay a rate of return. Financial capital, economic resources measured in terms of money. Financial capital is the monetary assets required for a business to provide goods and services. Example of financial capital. Economic or financial capital entails monetary funds and investments like equity, debt, or real estate. Interest rate, the price of borrowing in the financial market, a rate of return on an investment. The interest rate is the amount charged on top of the principal by a lender to a borrower for the use of assets. Usury laws, law that impose an upper limit on the interest rate that lenders can charge. Interest in a debt, including discounts, points, fees, and other charge at a rate greater than what is permitted under any applicable law or exemption. Demand and supply for borrowing money with credit cards. In this market, for credit card, borrowing the demand curve D for borrowing financial capital intersects the supply curve is for lending financial capital at equilibrium E at the equilibrium interest rate. The price in this market is 15% and the quantity of financial capital being loaned and borrowed is $600 billion. At an above equilibrium interest rate like 21%, the quantity of financial capital supplied would increase to $750 billion, but the quantity demanded would decrease to $480 billion. At a below equilibrium interest rate like 13%, the quantity of financial capital demanded would increase to $700 billion, but the quantity of financial capital supplied would increase to $510 billion. Credit card interest rate, another price ceiling example. The original intersection of demand D and supply S occurs at equilibrium AO. However, a price ceiling is set at the interest rate RC below the equilibrium interest rate RO, and so the interest rate cannot adjust upward to the equilibrium at the price ceiling. The quantity demanded QD exceeds the quantity supplied QS. There is excess demand, also called a short.
Temporal decision making, deciding between a similar sooner and a larger later rewards. What is the example of intemporal decision making? Decisions about the savings, works, effort, educations, nature, nutrition, exercise, and healthcare. At also intemporal effect of growing USA debt. Extensive debt and determine economics performance when it is followed by transfers that are the economically submental or emotionally. This is a transverse concept of financials distressed behavior that undermines substitutes grow in the many cases substantially. Somehow a demands curve D and the supplies currently C, where is the supplies of capitals includes the funds arriving from the foreign investors, the original equilibrium A accrues an interest rate R and equality and financial state. Continue the topic of the effect of growing USA debt. When the intermissions of a foreign investor for investing their money in the USA's economic demonstrates the supplies of a financial capitals shift to left. This leads to a new equilibrium of A. Din sa graphic makita, which is across of the higher interest rates of R, there are low equality of a financial estate. Let's proceed the topic of a market system as the efficiency the machines from informations. A market system is the efficient tools of disseminating informations conveying relative price of a different commodities, labor, and financial markets. Price exists in the markets from goods and service from the labor and for financial capital in all of the markets. Price serve as the markable socials merchants of the collections, campaigning and transmitting information that is relevant to the market. Let's proceed the demand and supplies models. Second fundamental diagrams from this source. The first was the budget's constant opportunity set of model. Demand and supplies curves explains existing levels of and how to economics event we will cause change in the price of price and controls on the equilibrium of price of quantities. Change and in demand of supplies level change supplies levels themselves through economic customers produce behavior. The main meaning how supplies as demand the effect consumers is the truth price change. The price control might give everyone in the economy of these critical informations. Although is the many searchers goals and the serves more affordable price controls can use often links and descriptions in the markets. Losses of the products and the nutribles change and inequalities. Without this information, it's become difficult from buyers and sellers. The rest of change across throughout this economy. Systematic information is the situations when one party and other economic transactions process more information about the products, service involved that other party. Also, selling can advantage of buyers becomes a thematic information exists, whereby the seller has the more knowledge of the good being sold that is the buyers. Kana ganing natay kibali online selling for example. Dapat good ka good background, good kay para ang mamalit sa imuha is nakakuan sila nga oy good quality tapos dali ra gyud mahurot ang imong mga items nga ipangbaligya. And let's proceed the genetic demand and supply curve. The horizontal axis show the difference measures of equality. The vertical axis show a measure of price. The demand and supply curve can be used to explain how the economic events will cause change. Demand and nurses as a baby boomers come of age.
In 2010, the median salaries from nurses was 64.690 million. As the demand of service increasing, the demand curve shift to the increases from Q to QA. The equilibrium salary increased from PO to P1. For example, if an individual was born between these years of 1946 and 1964, that a person is considered to be a baby boomer. The baby boomer age range as of 2022 is 58 to 76 years old. During the baby boomers birth of years, the numbers of births increased. Impact of decreasing supply of nurses between 2014